And this is my buddy Rick. How's it going, man?
It's going well.
I'm excited because today we're gonna hop on the bikes and go for a ride. We've been doing some trade-offs here, getting some feedback from each other. What did you think of the ST1 there?
I love it. My brother just started, from my recommendations with e-bikes, picked one up, and I don't think
One of these? He's got the Stromer?
Yes.
Nice.
He doesn't have the special edition that you have, so I'm not sure what the difference is.
Is his brown or green?
Brown.
Okay, it's the T, I think, the ST1T. Does he like it?
He loves it.
He loves it. Okay, and is this the first?
My brother is not. He doesn't do a lot of athletic stuff.
Okay.
He's not a gym person or anything like that, and so I was as pleased as punch for him to, instead of buying a motorcycle again, or something like that,
yeah,
to try e-bikes.
Nice.
And a couple months ago, we had a party where all the family got together, and I just got my first e-bike.
Was it this one or the Turbo X?
It was the Specialized Turbo X.
Okay.
What caused me to call you up when I heard you were in Colorado,
yeah,
was I started to do some research online, and so I got on YouTube, naturally.
Of course, yeah.
E-bike searches and stuff, and so I became familiar with you and your whole website and stuff because of that. And that got me a little bit more excited, so I decided to pull the trigger on a really good deal of a 2015 Specialized Turbo X.
The Turbo X. I love that one because it's got suspension, a little bit smoother for a road bike.
I've always liked Specialized design.
Me too.
And
Me too.
They just do a complete, instead of just slapping a bunch of components together, it's more thought out, more engineered, it's more aesthetically pleasing in my mind as well.
Yeah.
And so I assumed it would be a safe choice for e-bikes. Again, I'd only been researching this about a month.
Well, and how's it holding up, man? How's it doing?
The bike is fantastic.
Okay.
I did pull off the 2.5 or whatever tires that came with it, because I'm just used to using road bikes that have a
narrower.
More of a road, and I put a 25 millimeter on it.
Sweet.
And it has a front suspension on it, so I'm going to absorb a lot of the impact from that. Wonderful bike.
Nice.
One of the contrasts between that bike and this one is this one definitely has more oomph.
A little more oomph.
I don't think the motor on that, it's a Swiss.
Go Swiss drivers.
It's impressive.
It's impressive. Okay.
So what's nice about all these different bikes is that I've tried over. I'll have to get. I'm rambling here, but I have 3 e-bikes now. And
Man, 3 in how long? 2 months? A month. Oh my gosh! And tell me where you got them. Tell me where'd the Turbo X come from?
That was Denver Bike Shop.
Denver Bike Shop. Okay.
Yeah, they were just closing out some last year's models of them.
2015, you said. Yeah.
So I drove down there and picked one of those up, and I got a pretty good price on that.
Okay. And then what was the second bike that you got?
The second bike was this one, which is a Bull's bike, which I tested at the Denver
The Expo, dude. I was
Expo.
there.
We met. You don't remember me.
I guess I was getting distracted.
Yeah, it's because everyone was coming up to you and saying, "Can I have your autograph?"
Oh my
Or,
gosh!
Can I have your autograph? And so you didn't notice me in the distance there, but I did stop by and say hi, and did say how much I appreciate what you were doing because
Thanks,
it helped
man.
me make this decision.
Do my best.
But that's where I rode this.
Okay, and then you
I
loved
had never
it.
even heard of Bull's bike.
They're new. It's new to the U.S. I think they've been around in Europe for quite a
They're
while.
a very big bike manufacturer builder in Europe. I now know, but I had never heard them. This has been their first year, foray into the North American market.
Yeah.
And I really wanted a Bosch CX. So
yeah,
I really.
it's the high torque motor, right?
Yeah, and they had a couple there. They had another one with the I cannot think of it's the one that Specialized has.
Bros. And we're going to see that today.
Bros.
So I've got the Turbo Levo Expert. We're going to take that one out. So we'll have a few different things to try.
And the Europeans are the ones that seem to really be at the forefront here in the technology,
Embracing it.
popularity, usage and everything and stuff. And a lot of the sites are in German in particular. And so I started to research some of the German e-bike sites to try to determine which mountain bike I wanted.
Yeah.
And I kind of decided the Bosch drive system is what I wanted. I wanted a mid-drive, and I wanted probably the best. And I use a lot of Bosch tools, and I like the brand.
Okay.
And so that's kind of what the decision was. And then when it came up to having a really killer deal on this, because they're trying to get their foot into the market, so they're offering just very good markdowns, I
Yeah.
decided to go with a Bulls bike.
I heard you've got some sort of a speed kit going on here,
Well, I
the
don't know
speed
if-
dongle thing. Do we want to talk about that? We can keep our
So-
mouths shut if you want.
The Byzantine laws in the United States that are for e-bikes is very difficult to really parse. And so, I kind of think I understand Colorado's laws,
Yeah.
but it seems like every state has different laws.
Right.
And then there might even be federal laws as well, and then there might be laws associated with national parks or something, or trails,
Yeah.
specific municipalities.
Forest
or anything.
versus,
And
it's
so, my
fragmented.
God, you really, it's still, I think, early times for e-bikes in the United States, and so a lot of these things are just kind of not well thought out yet. But
Yeah.
in due course, I think it all.
Well, as
So
long as
getting
people
back
keep
to
buying
this.
3 bikes, we're going to get there, man.
Well, I've seen the light.
And let me just
It's-
say, this is a speed pedelec. That's a 28 mile per hour bike. In Colorado, you can ride that on the sides of streets and in all the bike lane kind of things. But, if you tried to take that off road, no one would probably say anything, but you're kind of bending the rules and stuff. So it's, in any case, this was a 20 mile per hour top speed. Now you've got kind of the speed dongle, and it opens it up. So you get the comfort of this full suspension, but you get a little more of the practicality of the high speed. But I heard you saying maybe it's difficult to keep up at some of those higher speeds with your chain ring. Should we leave it at that? Like, that's a good overview. And we wanted to get out and actually ride.
Well,
So
I'll tell them about the defeater there. So
Yeah.
in Europe, it's quite popular to get a little module that.
Can you
only-
point to it? Like, can
No,
you actually see it?
it's behind this case, and it's an inch long and a half inch wide.
Okay.
You can't really see
Can't
it.
really
and
see it.
stuff.
It's tucked in there, huh?
And so you pull out a couple of wires, plug it into this device, and this device has a couple other wires that you plug it back into where you pulled the other ones out from.
Okay.
And so what it does is you have to have a cell phone or an iPod or something like that,
Yeah.
or Android, that communicates with it via Bluetooth, and it will take the cadence sensor and the torque sensor and the rotational sensor and adjust it
Yeah.
so that the computer thinks that you're never going over 20 miles per hour, which is what this is limited to by
Yep.
the controller. And the Bosch controller, I don't think anyone has gotten into the controller itself and manipulated that.
Yeah. They're pretty private. Even opening it is supposed
Right,
to
I
be.
think they're very proprietary on that.
Yep.
And so, but there's a half a dozen companies that make these defeaters for it that do a variety of different things. So there's primitive, and then there's
And then fancier one that
advanced
you've
ones.
got,
But the
yeah.
advanced ones, you still keep track of how many miles you've gone. You have all the other features that it has. It just, after a certain miles per hour, will just tell the machine it's always this speed. So
That's nice.
At 20 up from 0 to 20 miles per hour, it's accurate. But after 20 miles per hour, it never registers anything over that.
I
So that's
see.
what that is.
Thank you. Thank you for the feedback on that. I'm not, I'm just a bystander, kind of learning about this stuff with you guys. I think it does void the warranty, and there's, it's some questionable feedback, but laws are always changing, and people are, it's kind of supply and demand and what you want. So it's just kind of cool to see. It'll be neat to see it out on the road.
The difference between being able to keep yourself cool riding at 20 miles per hour and at 27 miles per hour is huge. To me, you just seem to be able to evaporate the sweat off at 27 miles per hour is just sweet. I've ridden in 95 degrees out and stuff like that. I sweat because I'm a huge sweater sort of person, but it's comfortable riding.
Yeah.
And that's another advantage of e-bikes. I would always ride either early in the morning or late evening.
Yeah.
Avoid I can ride any time of the day because I can go fast enough where I'm cooling myself off. And
Okay.
You're also not, you can have any level of exertion you want.
Yeah.
So you can dial it in, you can turn it off and have a very high level of exertion. Because
Yeah,
these bikes
but
are
it's
50
heavy,
pounds.
50 pounds. It's still rideable. I've ridden my e-bikes
They vary
unpowered.
immensely because
Yeah.
the magnets inside some of these motors.
I've heard about this. Like there's this one over here has
There
cogging.
is a load. So it's not just the extra mass of the motor, but there's a resistance.
And this one, yeah, it's like a 2-to-1 ratio. So if you're pedaling, do you actually feel like there's resistance on this one, just pedaling through the bottom bracket mid-drive, if it's off? Or, I mean, it's got to be very minimal, but it is turning gears.
I haven't had enough to really ascertain where the friction and resistance is coming from. I don't think it's the motor, but I'm not sure. There's got to be something to it.
Just a little bit of friction. Okay, so he feels a little bit of friction. This one, as I was saying, there's magnets in there. It's a gearless hub motor, and the magnets repel the stator if it's off. So there's definitely drag. In fact, would you like just kind of like lift up carefully by the rack there maybe, and then I'll spin this. So see, when I spin this, see how quickly that stopped? That's because the magnets that go around the perimeter of that hub, thanks man, they're repelling. So these are silent, they're bulletproof, but that's one of the trade-offs. And as we were saying over here, that sprocket, it's tiny, thanks man. And if I'm pedaling this right here, see like the chain ring is spinning like twice as fast as the crank arm. And in order to do all that, there's gears in there that are kind of like stepping it up in order to feel more like a normal bottom racket. So yes, there's some drag. So yeah, it's nice to keep these charged. When you're riding at that higher speed, what kind of range are you getting, man?
On this bike?
Yeah, what kind of, like one charge, how far do you end up? What's the range been like for you?
I would say rarely do I use the full battery because I'm kind of cautious about it.
Sure.
So, I've only probably gone to the maximum battery 3 times. I would say around 40 miles.
40 miles, I mean, that's pretty good.
But
it's like on paved roads and stuff mostly?
No, this is
some trails and everything? Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, 2 days ago, it was 44 miles. I ran out at 40 miles. In the last 4 miles, I had to go without a battery. And it was 2,800 feet of vertical.
With some off-road? Are we talking about like dirt trails? Or?
It was, at least half of it was off-road.
What's the assist level you use?
I try and do as low as possible, or if I have to get out of something, if I made a bad choice on a rock position or going up a hill, and normally that would, I'm not particularly that fit or that skilled, and I do that frequently, and so I can instantly put it in high power, and you can just power over stuff that would be killed, just stop you dead. Okay.
So you arrow up and arrow down as necessary, but mostly eco.
Change, and that's a key feature to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And with this one, I have 4 levels, which is nice. But when you're on a trail, you have more of a death grip.
Yeah.
And so ergonomics is very important. Whereas if it's a road bike, it's not that, because it's much more leisurely. You don't have to.
You added these, right? These are the Ergon GP1s with or GP5s with the bull horns.
Yes.
Good call.
I like multiple positions because if I'm riding for any length of time, my lower back will start to feel a little bit of pain or distress.
Yeah.
And being able to grip high and stretch your back a little bit, and then it allows because a lot of times I don't wear gloves in the summertime, so it's too hot out. Right. So this will evaporate the sweat off that, and then this will get sweaty, and I'll reposition down there. Too much information, I know.
No, that's great.
But you asked about them.
So if we look at the Stromer over here, see it's got a flat bar and then a pretty like low angle on the stem. I just built this bike for my mom, so it's Motobecane, not electric. It's just a carbon bike, and they call this like a gravel grinder. So it's got a slightly larger tire, just a good drivetrain here, decent, I'd say. She just wanted something lightweight that she could toss in the back of her car easily on her own. So it's got quick release front and rear. And then if you look up here, I just got a steel stem that's short and angled up, and then steel riser bars along with those same Ergon grips. Actually, I think these are the GP ones. And this has been good for her because it brings the whole bike together. She has shorter arms, but longer legs. So, you were talking about dialing yours, and those are things you can do on any bike. It's neat to see, getting the backpack on. So I think we're about ready to go. I'm gonna go grab my, the Levo Expert, and I'll be right back. Okay, with a little bit of delay, we're in the parking lot here. We've been some technical difficulties. We made it. The sun is still high. I got the Turbo Levo Expert here. That's what I'm going to be riding. I'm pretty excited about this thing. I haven't gotten to take it on too many trails. You've ridden all over the place here, so I think we're just going to go up towards the dam and then maybe over on some brief trails and see what's up. turn. Nice, dude. Beautiful afternoon.
It is. It's a little warm.
Think it's cooled off at all?
No. You want to do that and then loop up high?
You know, we could do here, left, and this loop along by the trees.
Right.
And then it comes back up there, and we can take it down on that side of the ridge and then back.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'll follow you. Dog. Doing all right, bud?
Yep.
Oh, sweet, man. We were just way up there.
It's a good trail.
It's a good trail. You been on this before?
Yeah.
Cool. Uh-oh. What? Here, let's get off the trail for a sec.
That makes,
Hey, how's it going?
that makes a huge difference.
What does?
Having a drop post, C-post.
Oh yeah, for the
I didn't realize how useful that would be. I should have got one a long time ago.
Nice job, man. Oh yeah. Mind if I pass you for a section? One more. Thank you. Woo. Well, that's it, guys. I made it home. Fun ride, and I've got a lot of gear that I've been testing out, just trying to see how it works in conjunction with e-bikes, including some tune-up supplies and shirts and pumps and just a whole bunch of stuff. I kind of went crazy. Locks. Today I was riding with the Synchro from Osprey. These are all things I bought myself, by the way. If I get a freebie, I will call it out. I've paid for everything so far, just so that I could be like as independent as possible. It's all stuff that I needed anyway for riding. So it's worked out really well. It's fun to get it out on the trail, and I want to like thoroughly understand it before I review it, which is also the case with the Levo Expert here. I bought this, and I've got a really like in-depth review coming up that I did at a local shop. So I'm going to start doing just the occasional like e-bike vlog where I'm out riding and I'm shooting and I'm exploring different places, getting feedback and stuff. So again, if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see, just chime in and I'll work it in, and I'll be labeling these separately with a separate playlist so you can kind of keep up if you like this. Otherwise, I'll still be, doing regular reviews so you guys know what's up with the latest and greatest electric bikes. Ride safe.